Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. Yesterday we have a naval video, and it is about a very special ship, and I think that it just highlights a lot of the problem that is just below the destroyer level. It is about the Kanonenboot K-2, and this is in the German tech tree at battle rating 3.7. The Germans have a really good lineup when it comes to their 3.7s. In terms of patrol boats and also destroyers, there are just so many to choose from, including rewards, premiums, and obviously also tech tree ones. They either have very high speed and or big guns, and this is just all that you really can ask for a lineup at this battle rating. The Kanonenboot K-2, on the other hand, is the most outstanding ones in terms of the gun caliber, the size, the armor, the secondaries, and just where it spawns. And this is kind of a little bit of a video response to Gaijin's phrase of that the Mosquito fleet, so practically all the PT boats, were a failure, because ships like these just rob the fun of so many people, especially if you have a very good, capable captain on it, and in particular if you have a full lineup of such ships with backups, and 4 people go in with those sealclubbers for all intents and purposes in a squadron. Just look at what I can achieve in this battle, because on the first note, I get an amazing result. So many kills and just absolute dominance, and I even don't have to sweat for it, right? But you will also get bored by it. Again, this is a little bit of a video response to Gaijin, to what we have to do with the ship. Let me get you back a few years when this ship first came out and when naval forces were still relatively young, fresh and promising. And now we have kind of the opposite. Old, disgusting, and just unbalanced as all hell. What I want to show with this ship is that it is just absolutely exploiting the map design. It is just the epitome of power creep, feature creep, whatever. When this ship first came out, it spawned with destroyers, and the ship itself was just way too slow, way too sluggish, and the armor just didn't really matter all that much versus destroyers, especially in the AP meta, where AP shells just behaved like, you fire an AP shot at a tank, right? And so this ship felt, despite its armor, really bad. You couldn't really do anything effectively against destroyers. You spawned with destroyers versus destroyers. Let's talk about the battle rating. 3.7 means that you can engage patrol boats of battle rating 2.7, or you can engage Fletcher class destroyers, which still are the best that there are. Gun handling, armor, secondaries, turret rotation speed, rate of fire, ammunition, and so you can see that this is kind of a little bit of a bad position if you're talking about a battle rating spread of 1.0. So we have 4 120mm L45 cannons with a lot of ammunition, 480 rounds, and as you can see, you can hull break, you can one-shot patrol boats, and even some of the nastiest opponents, some of the biggest opponents. You just can't deal with them. You can take on destroyers, don't get me wrong, but you're spawning nowadays with patrol boats. So ships like these, ships like the K-2, the LCS, and also the Soviet armored river patrol boats, and some of the British, and also in particular some of the Japanese ships, in particular the what's it called, the Syphon, they're absolutely way too dominant. And a long time ago I suggested we need a different kind of spawn for ships like these. Ships that are just not capable of really fighting head-on destroyers, that are too slow, but they have either armor and big guns. But they must then not fight with patrol boats. And so this second intermediate spawn would have been a good idea. And yet, Gaijin never really tried to figure this one out in terms of that they were never interested. So just imagine you are a new player. You look at naval forces, graphics look cool, you have seen some stuff on YouTube, and you just want to get into it a little bit. You want to grind, you want to try it out before you spend like, $60 on a premium pack? So you just try to get a bit patient towards this whole stuff of naval forces. You just simply want to try it out. You play your first games, and then you think, oh well, the patrol boats, the reserve ones aren't that great. Maybe if I get a bit into the rhythm, maybe if I figure out the game mechanics, maybe this and that. And at some point you come across things like these. All the time. That just one-shot you, where your skill doesn't matter. The map doesn't really offer you any sort of opportunity to flank them, to effectively torpedo them. And yeah, even if you're in an aircraft, this thing has so much AA for this battle rating. It's not really that easy to get a successful strike on it. Especially we're talking about if you want to strike it down with bombs. I've seen bombs just skidding off the side due to the armor, and then it can take a hit here and there. And also with torpedoes, to get a torpedo run successfully done within this AA fire, and in particular between the islands, it's not that easy. So with all those things, this is just a nasty opponent. But again, the difference always when this thing came out, it had to fight the best of the best destroyers, and so this was just a shit ship. And I still stand by this, because if you spawn every single time versus destroyers, you only can lose. That's the thing. And not because the ship is per se a bad design. But this thing must just not fight patrol boats. Just look at what I did to all the opposition. And yes, I know that those are bots, but some of those bots are also in ships that are similar to some of the patrol boats you can play at this battle rating or around this battle rating. And again, you can fight patrol boats of battle rating 2.7. What can they do at ranges in excess of 3 kilometers when you just have free reign? Just look at this, how I just do so much damage to enemy patrol boats, and even some of the bigger patrol boats, right? Or sub-chasers, whatever. This is just not right. So what we need are just decompression. We need then another spawn that is just further away from the patrol boats, but it's not just quite there with destroyers. You need to have some islands to really fight around them, but you also need to give the opportunity to fight at long ranges, let's say up to 4 or 5 kilometers for those guns. And in like 90% of the maps that I play on, that's just not given. And so it's always the same story. You go out and you seal club, or you get seal clubbed. And there is just no middle ground. And this is just what ruins the fun for so many people when they just respond to my videos, when they just write me via email, when they just write me, here in the chat in War Thunder itself, or a private message in War Thunder. All those things, I read those comments, I get the feedback myself, and in this case, I only can agree. There is just no other way, right? That this has to change. This is overdue for years. So, again, either a ship is seal clubbing or it gets seal clubbed. There is just no middle ground. And this is just absolutely outrageous. I'm just sitting here, right? And I can't really decide the game by myself because, there are caps. But I can dominate, like the range between C and B, for example, with relative ease. I can kill so many enemies that my team, the rest of my team, has such an easy time getting to the objectives. If they're not completely playing wrong, then even a mediocre team can easily win me the game for me. And so this is a little bit of video response. Just look at the results, just look at how I got these kills, and think to yourself, is this ship in the right spot for this battle rating? What should we change? The battle rating? Should we change the performance of the ship? And so many other things can be considered and discussed. But the combination of the spawn position and just the opposition is not right. It never feels right. And this is one of many ships that creates problems. Look at the results. Nearly 50,000 civil lines, nearly 5,000 RP. The awards nearly made 40% of our total income. 2 epic awards. What can you ask more? The K-2, it's an absolute seal clubber. Everybody knows it. And when you're in a normal patrol boat, you just don't stand a chance against it. And you just get one shot. And this is the entry for naval forces, so a lot of people think twice before they spend their money on $60 premium packages. And ships like these just drive off the free-to-play players in general, which just keep the servers running. I can't really describe it any other way. The majority of people are free-to-play players. Think about this. And you come across this every single battle, and it one-shots you, and there is nothing you can do about it. That is deeply frustrating. But at the same time, this ship was completely useless when it was introduced. This is the definition of power creep, of feature creep, and just of overall compression. I've said it so many times, and nothing has changed about it. And here we are, where 2/3 of the teams are bots. I'm not ranting, I'm just sharing here my opinion, which is based on my experience playing this as one of the few players that play it on a regular basis. I've seen the good times of naval forces, and now I'm suffering through the bad times. This game mode can be absolutely awesome. There are moments where it really shines, and so many things are done right, but just a handful of vehicles ruin the fun and the playability for the rest of the tech tree. This is the same for helicopters, planes, ships and tanks in War Thunder, where we have over 1,500 of them. But just a handful of them create the meta, dominate the meta, and make the rest just practically unfun, useless and just painful to play. This is why this game is not where it could be, where it should be, and it's all down to the devs seemingly being unaware of the issues, where just content gets thrown in over and over again without double checking. And a lot of the changes, for example, moving this ship from the destroyer spawn to the patrol boat spawn, sometimes make the situation significantly better for this ship, but so much worse for so many others. So for the sake of it, I say sacrifice this ship, sacrifice some other ships, and just, if Gaijin is not willing to implement a separate spawn for ships like these, to rework the maps, to expand them, to give more objectives, more islands, more room to maneuver around, in particular for patrol boats, then this thing must get back its destroyer spawn. For the sake of all the other dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of patrol boats that suffer at the hands of this monster. And that is all that I have to say. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section if you agree or disagree, what would be your suggestion. And as usual, give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the battlefields, in the skies, and on the waves of War Thunder.